everybody. I'm hopping on live for week 2 of creating a Mat Pilates habit. I am Mare here at the Barre Pilates studio, and if this is your first time tuning in and you want to see the previous week's exercises, check it out up in the right hand corner. After I'm done live streaming, I'll go ahead and put the playlist for this series that we're doing. The basic premise is making Mat Pilates a habit. Rather than saying every once in a while I'm going to get on and do like a 30-minute Mat Pilates session, we're saying every single day I'm going to take just a few minutes to do a few exercises in order to build a habit. Okay, so we're going to get started today. I'll start out going through the exercises, and then following that, I want it to be nice and quick that you can come back to it and jump right in any day. Following that, I'll give you a couple of tips and modifications at the end. If you're wanting more Mat Pilates tutorials, where I break down and teach you the exercises at all levels, you can join me on Patreon, where we get into classes and tutorials, and there's so much there available that's still building. Today, our focus is going to be on the abdominals, and this is going to be the exercises that we take. So we'll do 5 exercises with a warm-up, and these are going to be exercises that we repeat every day of the week until next Monday, when I give you new exercises to start on. Maybe eventually when we get down the road, we'll switch it up and we'll take 5 exercises for Monday and different for Tuesday. But right now we're taking a couple of exercises that every single day we're committed to focusing on and improving and just building a nice, easy, natural habit. So for this week, we're going to be focusing on abdominals. We're going to do the abdominal series of 5. So if you're newer to Pilates, some of these exercises you're going to recognize, and they're going to seem like classic exercises, rather than if I said, let's do a boomerang. Most people wouldn't know what you're talking about if you're newer to Pilates. But these exercises, while you might not be familiar with all of the names, you probably have seen the exercises or some variation of them out there. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started right here. So we'll go ahead and lay straight back onto the back. We're going to start out with 100, but this week, we were doing 100 every day last week. This week, let's switch it up a little bit. We're going to make it more challenging. If it's too much, just stay with your standard 100. Okay, we're going to peel up head, neck, and shoulders, lift the legs to 45 degrees, or you can modify in tabletop, or up to 90 degrees, and you can even modify by bringing the legs down. We're going to reach out, and we're going to pump the arms for 5, and then when we exhale, we're going to lift the arms up overhead and bring them back down. Again for 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, lift up. And lower, inhale, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, lift. And lower, keep that body nice and still, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, lift. And lower, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, lift. And lower, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, lift. And lower, nearly there, 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, lift. And lower, 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, lift. And lower, 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, lift. And lower, 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, lift. And lower. Now we're going to fold everything down, give ourselves a little break. Okay, so that should be warming us up, and we're getting even more into that core, moving more up here with that 100, with that variation of lifting the arms overhead. Make sure that nothing sways through the spine. We keep that nice neutral position throughout. The first of our 5 exercises that we're getting into is going to be the single leg stretch. So we're going to maintain a neutral pelvis, a real stillness through the center of the body. We'll peel up head, neck, and shoulders. Lift those legs into tabletop. We're going to pull one knee in while the other leg stretches out. 1, switch, 2, switch, 3, switch, 4, switch, 5, switch. Good, now we're going into the double leg stretch. We're going to lengthen legs away to 45 degrees, lift the arms to frame the face, circle the arms around, and hug back in. So we're in a nice circle, and then we're going to lengthen out long, circle back in. Let's take 3 more. 3, 2, and 1. We're moving next into the single straight leg stretch. Right leg lifts up, left leg lengthens out. And we're going to switch midair. Switch 1, 2, 3, 4, 90 degrees. Hands behind the head for support. Keep everything stable as we reach the legs away towards 45 degrees and lift back up. 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're moving next into the crisscross, bending the legs, and we're going to reach out, taking the right elbow beyond the left knee, lengthen the right leg out. And then we're going to switch to the other side. Roll the shoulder blades back and forth. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Whew. Draw the legs in. Whew. That's been our abdominal series of 5. And even doing a small number, you should feel that core light up. If you want to repeat or take more repetitions, you can certainly take more than 5 each, or you can do all 5 and then give yourself a little break and come back through and do all 5 again. All right, let's talk about the exercises a little bit in detail, and I'm going to give you some modifications. Some real easy modifications would be to leave the head, neck, and shoulders down. So when we come into the single leg stretch, we pull that knee in and reach the other leg out, and then switch. You will feel that core working here. When we pull up head, neck, and shoulders, we get more into the top, into the rectus abdominis, but you can really feel everything working down here. So if you're still building up that core strength and you're having trouble keeping this stable and steady and maintaining neutral, put the head, neck, and shoulders down. Okay, another thing with the single leg stretch is we want to make sure that the knee stays to the inside of the hip. Now we're not pulling out here and kind of being wide and all over the place. We want to be working in a nice straight line right here. All right, same thing goes for the double leg stretch. We can pull into a ball right here and reach the legs out long and draw back in. So one thing I'm going to recommend if you're keeping your head, neck, and shoulders down is that you take your legs a little bit higher. It's really hard to maintain a neutral pelvis with your legs going low, so I'm going to recommend that you reach out a little bit higher and draw back in, somewhere between 90 degrees and 45 with the legs right here. So we really want to make sure here, especially, that we're not losing neutral. In other words, that the pelvis isn't rocking back and forth. So we don't want to be here and reaching out, swaying, and then pulling back in. We want to hold everything stable and steady while we reach out and away. And then when we come into the single straight leg stretch, for some this one will be difficult if your hamstrings are rather tight. You may not be able to lengthen the leg straight. We want them to be perfectly straight as we switch, but if the hamstrings are tight, that's not going to be quite possible. So you might find that you need to have a little bit of bend there, or just work from where you're at with the straightening of the legs. Or it might not be possible to reach up here towards the ankle and calf. You might need to come down lower right here towards holding behind the knees, and that might help. And again, we can put down the head, neck, and shoulders. Just being stable and steady. Okay, so the double straight leg stretch, you're going to recognize this as an exercise that you can see performed differently in the fitness world, that and the crisscross. So we're going to go over it a little bit. We're not taking the legs down and swinging up and bringing down. See how my back is moving all over the place? That's not what we want to have happen here. We start at 90 degrees, and we're going to lower down, reach away, and pull back up. Now I'm not doing this, losing neutral and swaying like this. Okay, it's really controlled. We're just supporting by the head, behind the head, and reaching away. You can also lower down the head, neck, and shoulders. And again, if you're lowering that down, just don't reach the legs as far away right here. Whew. You can also, to make that a bit easier, you can bend through the legs and reach down and come back up, keeping a bend through the legs. So if you're tight through the hamstrings or it's too much of a load for the core, you can come there. And you may find that the double leg, straight leg stretch is just out of your reach right now, but you can do the single straight leg stretch. And that's just fine. So you could skip that one altogether if you're not quite there. Now when it comes to the crisscross, you're probably going to see in the fitness world something like this, the bicycle. That's not what the crisscross is in Pilates. Okay, so we want our elbows nice and wide, and we're reaching that elbow, and we're thinking reaching beyond the knee, and we're thinking about reaching that other leg out straight. So we're not just coming here and cycling. It's very controlled. We peel off one shoulder blade at a time and switch sides. You get really, really deep into that oblique. So hopefully you are finding those exercises challenging and really helpful, and you're feeling your core in all new ways if you are new to those exercises in Mat Pilates. So we're going to be doing those every single day this week. We're going to have a core emphasis, and we're bringing our attention to our core every single day with those exercises, starting out with 100 to get us really, really warm. Again, if this variation of 100, lifting the arms up in the air for the exhalation is too much, just keep it down here, inhaling for 5 and exhaling for 5. Woo! All right, guys, thanks for joining me for another week. I hope to see you back here next Monday to go over 5 new exercises for the following week, and I hope that you follow through and you're doing these Mat Pilates exercises every single day to develop a Mat Pilates habit. It's only going to take you a couple minutes, so feel free when you're comfortable with those exercises to skip watching the video and just go straight into those exercises at home, or you can rewatch this as many times as you want. See you guys next